What's a good word, everyone? I'm Kenny Barner, the owner of SportsBooks.com. Today we are going to talk about a fringe elite, what do you want to call them? The Penn State Nittany Lions. Where do you fall on them? A, they have one top 25 team they play this year that I can see. Maybe a couple as the season progresses that will be. Are they on upset alert in week one? Uh, how good is James Franklin in step up games? And how much does he dominate when they're favored by about 24 points or less? When they're big favorites up to 24, how great are they then against the spread? We're going to get to that and so much more with Penn State. But I got to let you know that sportshaveballs.com is the name of my site. When you want the solid sports pick packages, football time, we're in the middle of football season. We got college, we got an NFL. Put them together, and you got the best deal you can come up with out there. We keep our prices low, so you guys can be in for the whole season. All these videos that I do, hundreds, boom, up on my YouTube channel. Come over, subscribe for free, get your subscription, and then you can see all my videos of every single Power 5 school and Notre Dame. We didn't forget you either. Up on YouTube as we speak. So we got Penn State Nittany Lions over 9.5 minus 170, under 9.5 plus 140. Minus 170, I don't even think that's really bad juice. Maybe for this team at over 9.5, but there are some kinks in this team. First of all, you got to go with head coach James Franklin. This is a guy who, with point spreads up to 20, 18-2, he's covered. You got to come. I mean, I don't usually find out these spreads like this and mention them on these videos very often. But when you got a guy that's 18-2, 22-7 is favored by 7 or more. I mean, this is a team that when they get up, they're going to put in that next touchdown. You think you had a bad loss because of a backdoor cover or because the opponent put in an extra touchdown when they didn't have to. He will. He will. So when you're looking at UCLA favored by 20 over UCLA and favored by 16 over Washington, 20 over Purdue, these are numbers that Mr. Franklin looks at to cover. At least the numbers show that they have done well in that role, whether he knows it or not. That's whatever. But the bottom line is he gets a job in that role. And I don't even think I wrote down the opposite, which is like 1-8, 2-8, when they have step-up games, when they're underdogs or in that minus 3 to 3 range. They do not perform well in those situations. So that's something they have to step up in if they want to get to the next level. Now, the next level isn't just going to the playoffs, not the Big Ten champions, and losing in the first round. That's not stepping up, especially with this schedule where they avoid Michigan, avoid Oregon. They do avoid Michigan, right? Yeah, they avoid Oregon, Michigan, and that Nebraska we can throw in there too. But they don't play Ohio State, or they do play Ohio State. That's the one whiteout game I would assume it's going to be for Penn State. When I look at their offense, this is where I think they're not as great as they look when they're rubbing it in faces. So their stats can be a little bit better. Look at Drew Allen is a perfect example. 59% completions. Now in college, I don't think that's even great. But when he goes up against Michigan and Ohio State last year, he's only 50%. Now, yeah, those are great teams, but if you want to be in that great team level, you should be completing 60% even against them. With Drew Aller, I think he's a little too safe. So he protects the football. 25 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Don't want to take anything away from the guy, but they're a little bit vanilla. The running backs do average 5 yards a carry, so that's good too. You look for a big boost from Ohio State. Assuming he's healthy, if Julian Fleming comes in, this could take Penn State's receiver corps to another level. They need another level. Now, their offensive line has 3 starters gone. Not only are they 3 starters, they're 3 NFL picks. So losing starters is different with this type of level. So they're going to have to prove that. I look for them to be solid anyway as they're Penn State and they bring in good recruits. But at what level? Are they going to get to that Ohio State level or are they going to stay at the Mississippi level? Which one of those teams is going to take off? That's, questions we have for them. What questions do we not have for them? Defense. This team can definitely play defense. This is a defense that allowed number one, yeah, you Penn State, yards per play, let up, number one. Just tough. They were number one in sacks. Their top 4 tacklers are back. This is a very deep, veteran, top-notch defense. This is a team that in Big Ten play was plus 17 in turnovers. So this defense is what's going to carry them. Their offense, I'm not going to say it's bad because it'll be fine, and it might look great against West Virginia, Illinois, UCLA, USC. But when it gets to the next level, how's it going to turn out? So let's look at their schedule real quick. They open up at West Virginia. This is a tricky spot. At West Virginia, they're minus 12. West Virginia's going to have all the confidence in the world themselves. So this is a really interesting. I get these point spreads that are like, I consider 12 like significantly less than 14 since it's a big number. It's not like 18, 19, it went from 18 to 16 or 18 from 24 down to 21 and a half. No, this is under 2 touchdowns, like significantly. That one's a bugaboo. If they get by that and cover, but Franklin is a double-digit favorite, has been known to roll. So if they don't get upset in a close game, I think they lose. If they're up 10, 14, whatever, they'll pull away and cover this thing. So it's all really in how good you really think Penn State is. If you think they're going to be towards the elite 12 and a nice low number, especially for Franklin, who will punch in another touchdown. Up 13 will go to 20. Up 20 will go up to 27. Whether they can do that or not is the key. Then they got Bowling Green comes in, and then a week off, and then they got Kent. They get Kent, Illinois, and UCLA. Not exactly murderers row. They should be fine. And the thing with that is, with Bowling Green, Kent, Illinois, UCLA, and even West Virginia, even if they take West Virginia behind the woodshed, which I'm not sure they're going to do, their offense is going to make you believe, just because you've seen it, make you think maybe that this is a little bit of a better offense than it really is, as their defense will be just fine. Then they go to USC. USC is a nice little bugaboo team there. You got a team that was an awful defense, but great offense. They're the fly in the ointment. They got to go across the country at USC. That can be a loss, but we'll see how good this team is. Better defenses win though. Then they're off, and then they go to Wisconsin. 2 weeks to prepare for Wisconsin. That's a good team. They're only going to be about a 10-point favorite though. So when I look at these 10, 12, 16-point favorites, that's when I'm trying to see, okay, is Penn State going to get beat? And if I really think they can't be beat, I'm not going to do a 10-point teaser. I'm going to do that they're going to cover. I will do teasers. I will do my inline parlays. But with Penn State, they win. They're going to win big when they have these 10, 12-point games. Then, after they go to Wisconsin, Ohio State comes in. And we all know, you could see on my YouTube channel where we have Ohio State previewed already, how good Ohio State's going to be. And can Penn State get to that level? Can James Franklin step up as a 2-point underdog and get a win? And will it matter when it comes to the playoffs? Because if that's their only loss, they're still going to be in the playoffs, most likely. But I don't know how that plays out the rest of the country. So top 12, we don't have a history of what's going on there. So then after Ohio State, Washington comes in. Now, Washington is a team I believe is going to keep improving as uh, the season goes on. So, will they let Ohio State beat them twice if Ohio State beats them? Will they have a letdown if they win? They usually don't let down. If they're going to be a 14, 16-point favorite, I mean, I feel like I'm doing like a service of there could be some good spots to take Penn State, uh, especially if you think they're a solid team and just almost at that elite level. Uh, then they go to Purdue where they'll be favored by a big. At Minnesota, then they come home from Maryland. So their schedule really sets up with no Nebraska, no Iowa, no Michigan, no Oregon. It sets up pretty well for them to make the playoffs. Over 9.5 wins at -170. I don't even think that's too much juice. Now these lines were from Bet Online a few days ago, so I like to put them all out there now and then check them back and see where we're at. But Penn State to 10 wins, I think, is kind of comfortable. They got the old at USC, at Wisconsin, at West Virginia. You know, it's like, if they're really good, they'll be fine. But when you have an offense like they do, not the best about. But what they don't do is kill themselves. And that wins you lots of games. Making less mistakes than the other team wins you a lot of games. And that's what Franklin can do. So there's Penn State for you. Now remember, sportsatballs.com, linked below. I'm on the YouTube channel, every video. Check out and see what we can do for you. Come chat with me anytime. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Let's make money. Boom.